2 from Fox Toledo.
Tonight on the Rychnovsky Recap, a former Mud Hen is saving the day in Motown. An ultramarathon man reaches the 2,000-mile plateau 100 miles at a time. And a rat's nest is perfect training ground for area athletes. So grab your hats and let's get the party started. It's the 4th of July version of the recap, and it starts right now. Good evening, everyone, and happy 4th of July. I am Joe Rychnovsky. We start tonight with the Mud Hens and baseball over the fraction, where Carlos Guillen is rehabbing the club. Guillen had just one at bat. He struck out. Meanwhile, another Tiger, Foutainé, getting a spot start for the Hens tonight against Indianapolis. Here we go. Foutainé looking good. 3rd inning, no score. Indians threatened, but hey, gets the strikeout. Foutainé pitched 4 1/3, gave up 3 hits and allowed no runs. Getting a little help in the top of the 4th was all-star outfielder. Yeah, I said outfielder. Willie Rives, he played everywhere. Making the dive and catching left. Hens break it open the 8th. Already up 5-1, make it 7-1. Ryan Streepy. That's a blast on this 4th of July. 7-1 your final. The Hennies do indeed win it.
Hi, I'm Carlos Guillen from the Detroit Tigers, and you're watching the recap.
Thank you, Carlos. Back in 2009, Caitlin Roars was one of the top female hoopsters in the state. The Liberty Center native would sign on to play her college ball at Youngstown State, but a bout with mono turned much worse. Roars has chronic fatigue syndrome. Her basketball career is now over, but she's still on scholarship with the team helping out and working towards her degree. And tonight, she's in the house as we go one-on-one. Hey, Caitlin, you have a very interesting story to tell. You have chronic fatigue syndrome.
Yep.
You were an all-star basketball player at Liberty Center. You went on to earn a basketball scholarship at Youngstown State. And then this past basketball season, describe what happened.
I arrived on campus in the end of August, and my teammates and me went through a couple open gyms that the coaches weren't at and stuff, but I knew from being redshirted my freshman year due to injuries and stuff that I wanted to push myself to make sure that my body could still last between my past illnesses and injuries. And so during the open gyms, I had to basically pull myself out of the playing and stuff because, like, fatigue-wise, I was getting really tired. It felt like I wasn't even, like, I had done anything during the summer, which I did. And then I had my first preseason workout with my coaches, which was only 30 minutes long, really easy workout, and, like, my body could barely even last during it.
What'd you think? You had mono or something, or?
I just felt like the mono and the Epstein-Barr was coming back that I had.
Now, you had Epstein-Barr. Describe to our viewers what that is.
It's basically where you just feel really run down. It's basically like having mono, except that it doesn't go away. It can last for a few months and stuff, and once it lasts 6 months or longer, then it's considered chronic fatigue syndrome, which is what I'm at right now.
And you have chronic fatigue syndrome. What was it like when you finally found out and got the diagnosis?
Actually, I didn't get the diagnosis until probably around February, March and stuff. Like in October, they ruled it as Epstein-Barr syndrome and stuff, and so we had to wait until it got around the 6th, 7th, 8th month before I still had the same symptoms of feeling tired. I mean, I have to at least get 10, 12 hours of sleep a night. You know, I have to moderate the amount of exercise I do, and I still had the same symptoms when it came around that time, so that's when they ruled it as chronic fatigue syndrome.
What do you feel like day to day?
Basically, I feel like crap a lot of times, but like I feel tired all the time and stuff. Depending on the amount of sleep and amount of activity I do, like even physical, mental activity, if you do a whole lot during the day and stuff, just even mentally and stuff, it just wears you down and stuff, and you just feel like a train hit you a lot of times.
You're a young lady. You're only 20 years old. You were a star basketball player at Liberty Center, as we said. You played all kinds of sports. You've been very active throughout your life, and now this. How tough was it for you to accept this diagnosis and realize that your athletic career is basically over?
It was really hard because it's been my personal identity since I was a little kid. When I first found out that I would not be playing anymore and stuff, I didn't really know what to think, like what am I going to do now in my life and stuff. But after a while, I kind of learned that, you know, I've been blessed with so many different talents and stuff, not only just in basketball and my sports, but outside of basketball in the classroom, community service-wise and stuff. And along with the family support that I've had at home and stuff, I've realized, you know, I might not be able to control what has all happened to me and stuff, but I can control the way that I look at it.
And your coaches and teammates have been wonderful. They kept you on scholarship over there?
Yep. I'll be working in the athletic training facility for my last 2 years of school. I still receive a full ride in education, my room and board, and I'm going to still be around my girls. A lot of them are my teammates and stuff, so I'll still be a part of them, just not on the court.
A couple years ago when you were coming out of Liberty Center and everybody's like, oh yeah, Caitlin, she's really good, and you had achieved such success over there, and it all just comes crashing down so quickly. How do you go about, as a young lady, as a young athlete, putting it in perspective?
I just use it as taking this experience through the trials that I've faced, the obstacles, and know that anything else that I can face in life, I'm never going to let it consume me. You know, there's going to be things that shaken me and stuff, but after everything I've been through, it's made my stamina, just emotionally wise, be able to face anything else that I can face in life.
Is there any kind of medications? Is there any kind of cure for this? Or is this something that will hang on for the rest of your life? Or could you possibly grow out of it?
It possibly could hang around for the rest of my life. You know, chronic fatigue syndrome, there's not really necessarily much known about it. There's no cure right now. There's no prevalence. There's no specific medication that I have to take. There's no specific cause known yet for it. So right now I basically just take a bunch of supplements that kind of just ease the symptoms. As exercise-induced compartment syndrome-wise, you know, they took the conservative methods, and I had surgery on both my lower legs and stuff. And
now, what did the surgery do?
It was like a fasciotomy where they went in and cut the sheath around your muscles and your compartments down in your lower legs, so that when like you do physical activities such as running, like it allows your muscles to contract and breathe, where before it wasn't letting me do that. So I mean, right now I'm blessed with everything that I've received and stuff. No, I can't go on and live my dream as a kid and play basketball and stuff, but you know, I can still play for fun, just not the way that I necessarily dreamed of playing.
And you're studying?
Yes, I'm studying. I still have a 4.0 cumulative GPA.
Awesome. And what's your focus?
Marketing.
Good for you, good for you. And you're scheduled to graduate in a couple of years. Well, I'll tell you what, we wish you the best of luck. Thanks for coming in tonight and telling your story, and stay strong. You'll pull through it, trust me.
Thank you.
She's a neat young lady, isn't she? Break number 2 is here, but the race isn't over. It's all about endurance. Try 100 miles at a time. That's next.
Hey, it's Tiffany Tarpley. Remember me? Well, when I'm back in T-Town visiting my friends, I definitely watch the Rychnovsky Recap, and you should too. We'll be right back.
And we are back. Thank you, Tiff. I love seeing T-Tarp in Toledo. All right, each year, hundreds participate in the Glass City Marathon. It can be mentally and physically very challenging, but for Mike Pellicetti, he prefers 100-mile runs through the Sierra Nevadas. It's the ultimate endurance challenge, and it's this week's Fox Challenge. He might look like your average runner cruising through Wildwood Metro Park, but Mike Pellicetti is much more than that.
Been fortunate to run a 100-mile run through the Sierra Nevadas actually 21 different times.
Holy Toledo! Yes, 100 miles. You see, Mike is a record-setting endurance runner, and he has the hardware to prove it. In fact, he is one of just 2 people in the entire country to run 100 miles under 24 hours over 20 times.
I always had a passion to run something longer than a marathon, and I heard about this, and this was the thing I wanted to do.
That was more than 30 years ago. Now this Toledo fireman by trade is heating up the pavement.
You get in the zone. After you get the first 30 miles in, it's a piece of cake. So it's a challenge, challenging your body.
Which can be quite painful.
If you take a hammer and hit your toenails, that's about what it feels like. The blisters are phenomenal. After about 70 miles, you just put up with the pain because you want to finish. Hey, Joe, do you think you can run 100 miles? Take the Fox Challenge.
Are you kidding? I don't even like to walk. Nothing bad. Ah, what the heck? Why do this? What would you say to people that go, man, you're nuts?
It's a challenge to do something that very few people can do.
One that I'm not nearly ready for. I hear it's kind of fun, huh, guys?
Oh, great.
You having a good time yet?
Yep.
Oh, boy. You need a big group. It's a party out here at Wildwood.
Mentally, it's just enjoyable. That's all I can say. I just enjoy doing it. It makes you feel good.
Hey! Stop! Stop! Hey! 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 Hey!
My thing is, don't be an armchair participant, be a self-participant. And that's what I like doing, just running and enjoying myself.
All righty, we'll step aside, but this holiday show has more to come. It's basketball time on the recap. I'm going to layer up behind the back. And Potts comes in, and he gets it blocked. We'll be right back. Thank you, kids. We're keeping our fingers crossed that the NFL and NBA can solve their labor disputes so our local athletes can have a chance to play professionally. Tell me I don't have game. Former Buckeye at Upper Sandusky's John Diebler spent some time in the Great Northwest this week meeting and greeting his new team, which is where we start, as it's time to rewind with Ralphie's, because upon further review... We start the week out in the Great Northwest with the Portland Trail Blazers welcome Upper Sandusky's John Diebler to the NBA. Diebler will wear number 33, the same number he sported as an Ohio State Buckeye. It's an exciting time for Diebler and his entire family.
It was just all kind of surreal. I was actually up, we have a little place up on Lake Erie, and I was with my family and my wife's family, and just having a good time. And then when you hear your name called, it's just crazy because, you know, it's everyone's dream to play in the NBA, and you know, every year you watch the NBA draft, and you know, being at Ohio State, we've had some guys who I've played with who've gotten drafted, and you hear their names called, and it's a crazy moment.
And on Tuesday, maybe one of these young athletes will become the next John Diebler. Every Saturday in July, Tim Evans and his wife Mignata are teaching kids through basketball about dedication, determination, and motivation in hopes that all children recognize their full potential and excellence in life. The camp gives the kids a purpose and keeps them off the streets and out of trouble as well. It was actually started by legendary Scott High School basketball coach Ben Williams and continues today.
We have motivational speakers. We try to teach the kids how to participate, get along with others, and communicate, and a lot of other skills.
And on Wednesday, not a good outing for the Mud Hens and Andy Oliver. Columbus jumps on Oliver for 9 runs, 8 earned in just 3 innings. Clippers beat the Hens 12-4. On Thursday, how about this group of young athletes? It's the Toledo Browns state champion flag football team. The 10 through 12-year-olds won the title over in Columbus. They each received a first-place trophy and even have their own uniforms with nicknames and all.
We started out not so well because our defense, we kept letting the players outside us, so we had to keep getting them inside so that our defensive could get their flags.
And on Friday, how about the Toledo Mud Hens reaching out to the community and the kids at the Toledo Children's Hospital? LJ Gagne, Adam Wilk, and Brendan Wise visited Toledo Children's Hospital. They came bearing gifts, and they signed autographs for the kids.
We've been fortunate enough to be, professional baseball players and be very good at it, and able to come and, enjoy, a few hours, or even if it's just an hour with these kids, and a tough time for them. It's really rewarding and it's fun to do.
And on Saturday, the weekend for the little grappling. The Glass City's the home of the Junior Nationals for judo. There are about 700 competitors. This is the first time Owens has hosted the event. The 2-day tournament turned into a huge success. And that's upon further review. All right, one final stop on the way, but don't stray far. We're headed to the rat's nest. No exterminators necessary. Stay with us. Last week, former St. John's football standout Jack Miller made the short trip up Highway 23 to Ann Arbor, Michigan, where he'll begin his career with the Michigan Wolverines. He'll leave behind a lot of memories of his time at T-Town and his workouts at the not-so-famous Rat's Nest. Here's Howard Chen.
There are no signs of life. Literally, nothing here prepares anybody for what's inside past the plain-looking, rusted side door.
You take a look around, it's a old warehouse, you know, and there's a couple rats running around in here anyways as we speak.
Welcome to the Rat's Nest, a hideout for the best and brightest athletes in Northwest Ohio. Dan Jones became Jack Muhort's personal trainer roughly 5 years ago, making the move from fitness guru to specializing in sports. One thing Dan had to do to make the adjustment was to make his workouts sport-specific. For instance, in football, he's all about explosion.
Sport-specific training is all about fast twitch fiber acceleration, getting from point A to B quickly.
Even if it means pushing a sled to get there. Dan's known affectionately by his clients as being certifiably insane.
A little left of center, as I like to say, but the more we started to work together, I realized what a great guy he is and how much fun these miserable workouts can be.
It's almost like the military in the Navy SEALs and Special Forces. It's trying to get your mind in the right place, beyond where it's normally used to going.
The results are clear. In 2 years, future Michigan football player Jack Millers gained about 50 pounds of muscle. His brother Matt's gained about 70.
You hate it a little bit right now. You're thinking, God, I'd rather be laying on the couch or in the pool or something like that. But for the big picture, when it comes Saturdays in the big house, that's what it's all about.
And these are young people, so to make that kind of impact on them and to give them the tools, mentally and physically, so that they can succeed, not only in sport, but quite frankly in life, certainly makes you feel good.
And maybe someday they'll be able to catch the real deal, the gym's inspiration, an actual rat named Stuart, after Stuart Little.
That's a goal, kind of like Rocky chasing the chickens. Maybe we'll try to catch Stuart one day. I think when we leave, he gets out here on the turf and does a few agility drills and whatnot. He watches us, he learns.
Because despite appearances, there's plenty of activity on the inside, helping these gym rats improve their survival skills for the outside world.
Good story, Howie. Thanks a lot. That is the recap. I'm Joe Rychnovsky. Chris Podorowski wants to say happy 4th of July weekend, everybody.
I'm going on vacation. I don't know about y'all, but I'm going on vacation.
And I forgot about the Red Sox making the All-Star team.
Four of them.
How about Matt Joyce from Tampa Bay and Curtis Granderson from the New York Yankees? Former Mudhens also in the All-Star game.
Can't beat that.
Can't beat that. You can beat this. So long. We'll see you back here tomorrow, which is the 4th of July.